Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss one more interesting test case. So the table which you are seeing in the screen, what we have to do here, we have to identify all the number values and convert those number values into thousand values. That means here, whatever sales figures are appearing, I will have to make these sales figures in thousands. Similarly, the profit should appear in thousand instead of this big number. So tomorrow, if any new columns are getting added, and if those columns are number values, then in that case, my solution should be in such a way that automatically those number values should get converted to thousand values. So whatever we learned in the previous video about the data type, we will use that concept and we will take it forward to solve this particular problem in hand. So let's get started. So now what I'm going to show you right now is two-way solution. The first, I will be using the Power Query user interface. So that's why I have renamed my query name as solution using Power Query user interface. And then I'm going to show you purely through M code how we can automate this particular solution. So I have imported the table, and now if I will have to, I know if I look into this particular table, the sales column and the profit column are the number values and there are no other number values. So if I select the sales column and go to transform and click on standard, divide by 1000 and click OK, what I will get my sales value in 1000. Similarly, I will do for profit. I will divide the values by 1000 and click OK. Now let us understand what Power Query user interface has written the function for converting these values into thousand. So I have already copied these two particular AMP code or the Power Query functions into Notepad for having a better understanding. So if you see the first Power Query function is Table.TransformColumns, and it is doing the transformation of the column values into the source table, and then it is creating a list of list structure because my table can have multiple columns where this kind of transformations I'm interested in doing. So in this list of list structure, what I'm doing, I'm giving the column name, and then I'm telling that each values appearing in this particular column divide by 1000 and assign a data type of number. Similarly, if I go to the next step, which I converted the profit values into 1000 numbers, the Power Query has written the Power Query function as Table.TransformColumns because I'm trying to transform the column values of this particular table, and my table name is divided column, the previous step. And if you see, the column name is profit, and then it is telling go inside each values appearing in this particular column and divide it by 1000 and assign a data type of number. So if you see, whatever Power Query user interface has given me the solution, the only problem which I'm finding right now is that it has hard coded my column names. So tomorrow, if this particular table has additional columns which are having number values, I will have to come here and manually do this kind of data transformation again and again. Also, another problem is that if the sales column and the profit column names are getting changed, this query is going to break. So there comes the AMP code. So now we are going to uh, provide our solution or create our solution using AMP code. And please remember, we have to create a list of list structure like this in the Table.transform columns. And if I just replace my piece of AMP code in this particular Power Query function, my Power Query function will become dynamic and I will have a dynamic solution. So let's get started. So now I'm into the solution using AMP code. So I have just imported that particular table. Now what I need to have is to identify in my table how many columns are there which are having number values, and those number values columns I need to select. So I will create a next step as table.column names, and I will give my table name as source. And now I am having a column name list. So I will rename this particular step as column name all list. Then from this particular column names, I need to go back to this particular table and go inside values of this particular column and check whether it is a number value or not. Again, I will have to go to the next column and go inside the value and check whether it is a number value or not, so on and so forth. So for that, we have a Power Query function Table.TransformColumns. That function allows you to go inside the values of each and every column and do whatever you want to do, whatever transformation you want to do. So for that, what I will do, since my table can be very large, so what I will do, I will create a one row table like we created in the previous video. So for creating a one row table, the Power Query function is table.first n, where I can tell how many number of rows I want to keep in my table. My table name is source, and I just want to keep one row of that particular table. So I will just rename this step as one row table. The purpose of creating this one row table is that I can do my checking in this small table instead of doing my checking in the complete table, because my table size can be very big and my solution can be very slow in that case. Now in this one row table, what I will do, I will try to go inside each and every value and each and every column and check what is the data type. And the Power Query function for that is Table.TransformColumn, because this particular Power Query function allows me to go inside the values of each and every column, which we have learned in the previous session. My table name is one row table. And then I need to give under which column I want to go. So I'm just showing you manually, then I will fit my M code here. So I will have to create a list of list structure. And in this, my first column name is date. And I want to go under each value of this particular date column. And I want to identify what is the value dot type of that particular value. And now you see what I'm getting is the data type of that particular value which is appearing in the first column, date. So if I replace one row table with the source, what I will get, it will give me the data type of each and every value. But I don't want to perform this function on complete table. I just want to perform on one row table. Similarly, if I will have to go to the next column, I will have to again initiate another list, give the column name. My column name is sales. So I will go to sales column, and again I will tell perform the same operation, and what it will give me the data type as number, so on and so forth. So here what I can do, I will have to create a list of list, and the function Power Query function which helps me in creating a list of list structure is list.transform. So I will use list.transform here, list.transform. And in this, I need to have the column names. First, my column name is column name all list. This particular column name all list give me access to all the columns of this particular table. And then what I can do, I will have to create a list of list. So for that, first I will say each underscore. So this each underscore will give me the column names. And I need to wrap that column name into a list of list structure. And then with this column name, I need to just tell each underscore, and this each underscore give me access to the values of this particular column. So each underscore, the first each underscore is giving me access to all the column names, and the next each underscore is giving me the values present in each and every column. So it is doing a double iteration kind of thing. So first it is going into the first column, checking the each and every values. Then it is going to the next column name and going inside the values of each and every column, so on and so forth. But I don't want the value. I want value dot type, means I want the data type of this particular values which is present in this particular table. So now I'm getting the data type, but still I don't want the data type. I want to check whether this data type is a number data type or not. So for that, what I can do, this value dot type is giving me a data type. You can see here. So I can just tell, is this data type is equals to number dot type, and it will give me a true or false. And you can see the sales value and the profit values are number values. Okay. But there is one more problem. If you see here, if you see the last column is a blank column. Okay. So fine, that is not a problem right now. I'm not covering that particular problem statement right now. My pure objective here is that to identify if the values present in my column is a number type or not. So I got that. But hey, I cannot apply a filter and here and select that please select sales and profit, because it is a table right now and I cannot apply filter in this fashion row wise. I cannot apply a filter row wise. So what I need to do, first let me rename this step as one row table with data type. I need to convert, I need to transpose this particular table so that my column name comes in the first column and this true and false comes in the second column, and I can apply a filter there. But please note that transpose is a very expensive operation depending upon your table size. So what I can do, I can easily write that you give me the first row of this table and it will convert into a record. So this is one row record. You know that if you give the table name and in the curly braces, if you give the positioning of your row, you will get that particular row into a record format. And my table is having only one row. Now I need to convert this record into a table. So in the next step, what I will do, there is a Power Query function as table dot from record. One row record. Okay, sorry. So the function which I need to use is record from records to table. Record to table will convert my one row record into a table structure. And now I can easily apply a filter here and filter only two values. So now I will tell again that this is my table, record to table. And I can easily apply a filter here and tell only give me the true values. And the Power Query is giving me now only the columns where the data type is a number value. Okay, so this I'm renaming is filtered table. But from this table, I need only the column names which are having data type as number value. So we have discussed earlier, if from the table, in the table, if I give the column name, what I will get is my list. So in the next step, what I will do, filter table, and if I give my column name as name, what I'm going to get is my list of the column names which are having the data type as number values. So this is number values column call name list. Now I can easily fit this particular list into my table.transform column. But hey, I need to create. So let's see how we can do that. So I will use the function as table.transform transform columns, and again I will give my column name as a table name as source, and here I will have to create a list of list structure, and for that I will have to use list.transform because this is a Power Query function which helps me in creating a list or a list of list structure. And in this list I need to access those columns which are number values, which are having number values, and my list name is number values call name list. And this particular list will give me, if I write each underscore, and this each underscore means the sales and profit. But here I need to create a list of list structure, so I will wrap them into a curly braces. And if I now write each underscore, this each underscore will give me the access to the values of these particular columns. Then if you remember, I need to create the structure in these formats. So I am now having the column name, and this is my each values present in that column. I will have to divide by 1000, and I can just write type number. So if you see my notepad and this particular function, which is Table.TransformColumns, I'm giving the column name, and then I'm creating a list of list structure using list.transform, and this underscore will give me the column names which are having number values. Each underscore will give me the values present in that particular columns, which I'm dividing by 1000, and then I'm giving type number. And now if I click outside, you see my numbers got transformed to 1000. So original table was having the big figures, and my final step is having the number values in 1000. So tomorrow, if any new columns are getting added into this particular table which are having number values, my Power Query will be in a position to identify those columns and easily convert into the number values. Let's test it out right now. So I'm just clicking on, let me rename this step as final table. Close and load, close and load to. Right now I'm only creating a connection, and whatever blank column was there, so let me rename this as cost, and my cost value is sales minus profit. And now this is another number value. So let's see if my Power Query solution is dynamically working or not. So if I go to the first solution which was using Power Query user interface, and if you see in this cost column is present, but here the numbers are not getting converted to thousands, whereas sales and profit got converted. And now if I go to my M code solution, and you see the cost column also got converted to 1000 values. So thanks for watching.